The morning she walked into the courthouse, the weight of her secret felt heavier than the winter coat stretched across her shoulders. 7 months pregnant, breathing shallow, heart racing, she came not to beg or to accuse, but to end a chapter she once believed would last forever. And when he looked up and realized what she was carrying beneath that coat, the world around him seemed to stop, as if time itself refused to move forward without answers. Before the story pulls you deeper, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. Her name was Hannah Moore, and she had driven 3 hours from a small town in Ohio to the county courthouse in Columbus. The building stood cold and gray against the pale sky, just like the last year of her life. She paused at the entrance, steadying herself, feeling the gentle movement inside her that reminded her why she had to be strong today. She had practiced this moment 1,000 times in her mind, telling herself that courage was not loud, but quiet and steady. Her marriage to Lucas Moore had ended long before the paperwork, somewhere between unanswered calls, empty dinners, and a loneliness that grew even when they were in the same room. Lucas had once been a man who noticed small things. He remembered the way Hannah liked her coffee, the hymns she hummed while cooking, the dreams she carried of a simple life filled with faith and family. But when his construction business began to struggle, stress hardened him, long hours turned into emotional distance, and silence replaced prayer at night. When Hannah tried to reach him, he pulled away, convinced that providing money mattered more than presence. By the time she realized she was pregnant, he had already moved out, believing space would fix what he did not understand. Hannah never told him, not because she wanted revenge, but because every attempt to speak ended in blame and coldness. She had gone to church alone, sat in the back pew, and cried quietly into her scarf while strangers prayed for her without knowing her name. The pregnancy was difficult, not just physically, but emotionally. She worked part-time at a library in Dayton, saved every dollar, and learned how to sleep on one side to ease the ache in her back. At night, she placed her hand on her growing belly and asked God for guidance, not for a miracle to fix the marriage, but for peace to accept whatever came next. Lucas, meanwhile, convinced himself that Hannah was better off without him. He signed the divorce papers without reading them carefully, seeing the process as a formality that would free them both from disappointment. When the court date arrived, he expected a brief, emotionless exchange and a signature that would close the door. He did not expect to see her walk in looking tired yet radiant, carrying life in a way that made the air feel suddenly too thin to breathe. As Hannah removed her coat and took a seat across the room, Lucas noticed everything at once. The curve of her stomach, the way she held her lower back, the protective instinct in her posture. Confusion turned into shock, and shock into a realization that struck deeper than anger ever could. 7 months. His mind raced through the calendar, counting months he had chosen silence over effort. The truth settled like a weight on his chest, and for the first time in a year, he felt the full cost of his absence. The legal process moved forward around them, but internally, both were unraveling. Hannah felt exposed, vulnerable, and yet strangely relieved. The secret was no longer hers alone. She watched Lucas struggle to remain composed, his face pale, his hands trembling slightly. She had imagined many reactions, but not this quiet collapse of certainty. In that moment, she understood that pain does not always shout. Sometimes it humbles. After the papers were finalized, they stood in the hallway, not speaking, both aware that something irreversible had happened, yet something unfinished remained. Hannah left first, stepping into the cold air, tears finally falling. She did not know what the future held, only that she had chosen honesty by showing up as she truly was. Lucas did not leave right away. He sat in his truck for nearly an hour, hands on the steering wheel, staring at nothing. Memories flooded him of prayers they once shared, of laughter echoing through their small kitchen, of promises spoken before God. He realized that while he had been trying to save a business, he had abandoned a family. That night, he went to a church he had not visited in years and sat alone, asking for forgiveness he was not sure he deserved. Weeks passed. Hannah focused on preparing for the baby, painting a small room pale yellow, folding tiny clothes donated by kind neighbors. One afternoon a letter arrived. Lucas had written it carefully, not asking for reconciliation, but acknowledging his failure and expressing a desire to be present in the child's life if she allowed it. There was humility in his words, and a faith reborn through regret. Hannah read the letter slowly, tears soaking the paper. Forgiveness did not come easily, but neither did resentment bring peace. She prayed again, asking not for the past to be restored, but for wisdom to choose love over fear. She agreed to meet him in a public park, where autumn leaves fell like quiet blessings around them. No accusations were exchanged, only truths. Lucas listened, truly listened for the first time. From that day forward, change was not dramatic, but consistent. Lucas attended appointments, learned patience, and rebuilt trust brick by brick. He did not expect reconciliation, but he hoped to become worthy of it. Hannah watched his effort with caution, yet her heart softened as she saw sincerity replace pride. Faith, once fractured, began to heal in unexpected ways. If this story is touching your heart so far, remember to stay engaged and share your thoughts. Stories like these live through your support and compassion. When the baby arrived on a snowy December morning in an Ohio hospital, Lucas stood in the hallway praying while Hannah labored with strength she did not know she had. The child, a boy they named Samuel, was born healthy, his cry filling the room with life and possibility. In that moment, Hannah felt something shift. Not a return to what was, but the birth of something new. Their journey did not end with a fairy tale reconciliation overnight. It continued with counseling, honest conversations, and faith-led patience. Some days were hard, some memories still hurt, but both understood that love, when rooted in humility and grace, could grow again even after being cut down. Before this story ends, please leave a comment sharing how it made you feel or what lesson you took from it. Your words matter more than you know. Years later, Hannah would look back on that courthouse day as the moment everything broke open, not to destroy her, but to reveal truth. The divorce finalized an ending, but the pregnancy revealed a beginning. Lucas learned that freezing in fear was not the same as stopping growth, and that facing consequences could lead to redemption. Together, in faith and effort, they found a way forward that honored both pain and hope. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your engagement keeps these stories alive, reaching others who need to believe that, even after deep mistakes, grace can still write a beautiful ending.